The shocking case of a 34-year-old Tunisian man in Poland who solicited children for sex. He offered money for his erotic exploits. Thanks to the action of the pedophile hunters, the man was captured and handed over to the police. Unfortunately, the prosecutor's office did not grant the police request for arrest, and the man is currently free. He received only police supervision. This raises questions about the effectiveness of law enforcement and the situation of migrants in Poland and Europe. Members of the EPCU Poland Foundation, or pedophile hunters, on their way to Łobuz in the western Pomeranian voivodeship. He was hiding very cleverly. He had been carrying out his activities since May. On the spot, they detained 34-year-old Tunisian Tahabi, who solicited children online to have sex with him for money. He created a fake account on the internet, downloaded photos, and impersonated an unsuspecting man from Solęcin. During his arrest, he pretended to not know what was going on.
Przyjechałeś do Polski z kraju, gdzie krzywdzicie kobiety, nie szanujecie. 12-letnie dziewczynki, co mam tutaj w ręce i zaraz tobie udowodnię, nazywasz małymi s***ami.
He repeatedly offered the 12-year-old girl to meet in his car, at his house, or some other secluded place where no one would see them. She was to fulfill his perversions in exchange for 1,000 zloty or a new iPhone. Pedophile hunters handed him over to the police, who requested the prosecutor's office to take the man into custody.
Prokuratura rejonowa w Łobzie podjęła decyzję.
The district prosecutor's office in Łobuz decided to apply a preventive measure against the man in the form of police supervision. That is, the Tunisian is enjoying his freedom. This is a question to the Polish authorities. Why do they prosecute pensioners who write something against Mr. Owsiak, and at the same time they release a pedophile, a man from a foreign culture, against whom there's actual evidence, because these pedophile hunters have shown his posts? This is a reference to a 66-year-old resident of Toruń, who was also placed under police supervision. However, the woman must appear at the police station 3 times a week, the Tunisian only once every 7 days. These events or cases that are currently emerging are very similar to the very ones that are operating in the West the whole time. Like here in Milan, where a group of students celebrating the new year were victims of physical and sexual assault by migrants. Some held our hands and others groped us under our clothes. I was rescued by an Italian man who was saving his wife as she was also being molested. This, in turn, was the famous New Year's Eve in Cologne, Germany in 2015, where women were sexually harassed by migrants. The police received more than 1,000 reports of sexual harassment and robberies. The German media remained silent for a long time, as the topic was uncomfortable for the public as well as the authorities, and most of the perpetrators escaped punishment. In the West, the situation seems to have reached a point of no return. In view of the open-door policy, Europe was flooded with a wave of illegal migrants. By force of nature, the question arises, what about Poland? Donald Tusk's migration policy depends on what the European Union, and mainly the German state, says. The European Union already in May last year has finally approved the Migration Pact, and it is Brussels and Berlin that will decide on the support for migrants to be provided by individual EU states. It's all about the solidarity mechanism, which involves, among other things, relocations. Polish Prime Minister Tusk was in favor and even against it. In my opinion, Prime Minister Tusk is absolutely unreliable on this subject. For years, he was in favor of migration. Now, when it benefits him, he says he is against migration. And that's why he wants to build integration centers for foreigners in every voivodeship in Poland. Meanwhile, the security of Poland and each of us is at stake.